In opening, I'd like to read a piece. It's called Security. When we are told that God, who is our dwelling place, is also our fortress, it can mean one thing, and that is that if we will but live in our dwelling place, we shall be perfectly safe and secure. I'd now like to turn the mic over to Ms. Barbara.
Thank you, Daphne. I just want to say welcome to everyone and thank you all for coming out tonight. In my world, you're either an author, you're a writer, or a reader. So tonight, I tried to bring all my people together, the ones that are the writers and the ones that are the readers, so that we can all connect, because that is also the motto behind the Tallahassee Authors Network. My goal was just to publish one book. I had no idea or no interest in writing a second book. I just knew I had that one book and I wanted to get it out of the way and I was going to be done. But my readers and friends that read the book, the next thing I heard was, when is the next book coming out? And I'm like, well, I don't know. That's a good question. So after thinking about it, I did come up with a second book and then third book. And okay, so now 9 years later, this is the 10th book. I'm going to read an excerpt from this book. I normally read the prologue or the first chapter, but I'm going to read something a little bit more. Well, first of all, let me tell you about the book. I'm going to read the back of it. Belinda thought she was losing her man, but she was really losing her soul. Miss Belinda Taylor is familiar with outside women trying to ruin her marriage to noted dermatologist, Dr. Desmond Taylor. However, she has been successful at halting their feeble attempts to fill her expensive shoes using diabolical schemes. When her latest confrontation lands her in prison on an attempted murder conviction, she has to face her darkest fears. By the time Belinda is released on parole, Desmond has disappeared with their 2 teenagers and started a new life with a new wife in parts unknown. What will the future hold for Belinda? Will she lose her soul trying to win back her man, or has she lost it all forever? So how many people have read the book, first of all? Anybody here that has read the book? Okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, the way this story goes, as I said, Belinda has been married to a doctor for about 20 years, and of course, he's a cheater. He's had multiple affairs, and she knows about them all. But what she does, instead of confronting her husband, she always comes up with the scheme to get rid of the other woman. And in her latest attempt, she confronts this woman at her apartment, and she ends up stabbing the woman and running away. So, this is where I pick up at. Can y'all hear me okay? Belinda was speeding and trembling so much that she almost rear-ended 2 automobiles on the way home. Finally, she jerked the car into her driveway at their prestigious Northwood Heights address, slammed the stick into park, and bolted from the silver Mercedes. Her hair and mind were a total mess as she fumbled with the keys to the front door. Balancing on wobbly legs, she finally managed to loosen the bottom lock and the deadbolt. After fumbling with the alarm system and punching in several incorrect numbers, she remembered the code within the last 5 seconds of the alarm being activated. Rushing down the long hallway, she stripped out of her clothes as soon as she entered the master bedroom. Belinda threw every designer piece she had on into the huge fireplace, including her expensive underwear. She made a beeline for the shower, turned on the hot water at full blast. Belinda wanted to get the blood off her body right then, since most of it had dried on her skin in the July afternoon heat. She hated the feeling of the icky blood, and the smell was nauseating. Belinda wanted to burn the clothes, but decided to wait until she was cleaned up. As the hot water poured down her face and the shower began to steam up, the reality of what had transpired began to consume Belinda. She cried out, "Oh God, what have I done? Jesus, please don't let her be dead. Just please don't let her be dead. I know that old lady had to call an ambulance. Why is this happening to me? I just wanted to scare her so she would stop running around with my husband. Is that too much to ask? Why did she have to grab me like that? I wasn't going to hurt her. Please, please, let the ambulance make it there before she dies. At least 30 minutes had passed. Belinda was still in the shower, sitting on the floor with her knees to her chest. With the water pooling around her naked body, she was all cried out. Suddenly, she heard the bedroom door slam with such force, it made Belinda jump as the walls shook around her. The sound of Desmond screaming her name could be heard throughout the entire 3-story house, causing the walls to vibrate. Belinda, where the hell are you? Get out here now. Turning off the water, Belinda slowly stepped out of the shower and wrapped a blue towel around her shaky frame. Entering the master bedroom with a scared look on her face, she saw Desmond sitting on the side of the bed facing her. His elbows rested on his thighs while he cried into his hands. What have you done? What have you done? Have you completely lost your mind? He asked, gazing up at his wife through colossal tears. Frozen at the sight of her husband's composure, Belinda pretended not to process what he was implying. I don't know what you're talking about, Des. I've been in the shower for the last hour. What's going on? She asked, walking away from him. Reaching for her navy silk bathrobe at the foot of her bed, she tied the wrap around her waist and continued to avoid Desmond's penetrating stare. That's when Desmond stood up and bolted over to the fireplace, pulling out her blood-stained clothes one piece at a time with trembling hands. He shot daggers at Belinda with his eyes. This right here is what I'm talking about. How could you hurt Bridget like that, he asked, holding her silk blouse in one hand. I don't know anyone by that name, she stumbled. I've been home all day. Like hell you have. Don't lie to me, Belinda. I saw your car leaving the scene of the crime. I know you found out about Bridget and me. Now, why did you try to kill her? Belinda couldn't deny the guilt any longer. She had to release her feelings. Because I love you, Desmond. I've always loved you, and I can't share you with anyone. I just went over there to scare her skinny tail, and she attacked me. Things just got out of hand. Robbed of all of her remaining energy, Belinda collapsed on the bed, holding her side as if she'd been stabbed like Bridget. How did that happen? Tell me exactly what happened, he demanded. Desmond's eyes and face were burgundy red. Every vein in his face popped with each word he shouted. Belinda tried to sit up in bed, but settled for leaning her head on a raised arm. Between gasps, she gave Desmond a blow-by-blow description of what occurred between her and Bridget less than an hour ago. Looking up at him through tear-stained eyes, she asked, "Is she still alive?" "Yes, Bridget is still living. She's at the Dallas Memorial Hospital in surgery right now. You better pray that she makes it," he said coldly, walking towards the bedroom door. Summoning the last strength she had in her body, Belinda flung herself at Desmond's feet and begged. "Oh, Des, I'm sorry. Please don't turn me in to the police." Squeezing his pants leg, she buried her face in the smooth fabric. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt anybody." Desmond shook his leg like he was shaking off a rat and headed towards the door. He swung it open, waving a hand in the air. "Officers, you all can come in now."
Belinda had a history of confronting other women. Do you think her actions were justified? That she confronted, or she should have confronted her husband?
Her husband.
I said the women. She has a right to go and tell those women to leave my man.
The woman in me, I would have got both of them. I would have stayed the husband till I got home. But me, I would have got the one that was out in the street first. Okay, we're going to number 2. Belinda was in Bridget's apartment when she arrived home from work. Do you think she planned to hurt Bridget or just wanted to scare her?
I don't think she went to hurt her. I think she went to scare her, like Stephen was saying, and tell her about approaching her man that just got out of hand.
I think she wanted to go there to hurt her. Only because in the other book, she did real damage to the last lady that broke her hip and everything else. So if she wanted to take her out, she wasn't. She would just go ahead and finish this one so she could get back where she came from. So yeah, she came to hurt me.
If I were her, I would definitely keep killing all those women. Let him feel like a king, that this woman is just killing all these women for me. And then after, I do what I need to do that was necessary, I kill him last.
After Belinda was jailed and sent to prison, she didn't hear from Desmond yet. She believed that he loved her. Was she being hopeful or delusional? I didn't hear that. Why you think that you don't want to say hopeful?
Wait a minute, hold on.
Was she being hopeful or delusional?
She was being delusional.
Why you say that?
Well, when it's not just in their situation, but you have to look at other situations as well. When a person is in love, when a woman is in love with a man, I feel that there's always hope. The delusion probably comes second, but the first is always hope.
You love him, but you mad at him. You don't like him. You upset at him, but you can't help who you love. So you still care for them, and I guess, you know, she hoped that he would.
But see, in this situation, Desmond was, she in the other book, she had threatened him. Oh, to leave him.
She had
all kind of dirt and proof on him.
She was still there.
But she was still there. Because she liked the highlight, she liked to live high on the house, she liked the cars, the jewelry, the clothes, whatever, but what made her. But after all that, she had attempted murder on her name right there. I mean, she had a case. That was this time to roll on up out of there. Baby, move on down the line.
I think she was a little crazy.
Delusional. Yeah, but that's all loving. You know what I'm saying? That's all in love. When you in love with a man so deep and you go to the max to do whatever you can for a man, that's all of being crazy. Probably attack too crazy across the
I don't think she was delusional.
She did.
She just lost all hope
In her mind.
in herself. She did not lose her mind. She knew what she was going to do when she went to that house. That's not somebody who lost their mind. She had just lost all hope in herself.
After Belinda was attacked in prison, she never tried to confront her attackers. Should she have gotten revenge, or was it best for her to let it go?
I was just messed up when it came to that part, because I was like in the book and I was like, I know she gonna whoop they behind. Because she always, like, when she went full force, she beat everybody to their game. So when they attacked her, it's like she lost everything. She didn't fight, she didn't do nothing. She don't even know if they raped her. She don't know none of that. But I was like, hey man, why she ain't beat him down? But she did. She did. Yes.
She might would have, but you know, she heard his noise and she turned around and he was jumping. So she might would have. Maybe.
I would have fought, but I'm thinking that she needs motivation to fight, and I guess messing with her husband is motivation.
I would say let it go. I mean, I agree with someone over there who said if you want to get out, there's no point in adding something else to add time to it. So if you want to get out, then there are some things that you're just going to have to let go.
Belinda's behavior throughout the book was very emotional and irrational. Do you think that an older, educated woman like her should have known better?
I don't think it matters what age you are.
Maturity has to do with that. Not necessarily.
Why?
Because when you're mad, you're mad.
Period.
Yeah. And you'll do anything regardless of how old. It doesn't have anything to do with education.
Exactly.
When people are mad, they do stupid stuff.
She should have, but again, it goes back to, like you said, being in love, having hope, trying to save, her marriage. And looking on the outside, it's easy to say what to do, what not to do. Yes, you need to go through it, but it's still a process that you have to go through to get to that point.
Right.
Because if you just listen to everybody, then when you're doing it because the people say it, and you'll find yourself right back. But if you do it when you get tired, then you're doing it to free yourself. So it's easy to say what to do when you're on the outside, but when you actually walk through it, it's harder to do. than just leaving. Because yeah, that's the right thing to do, but at the time, it's a process that you have to go through.
When you're in love and you're in your 20s, you behave a certain way because there's some things you haven't learned. And you know, it's expected, but you're in your 30s, you've gone to college, you're of a certain level, there's some experiences you've had, so you don't behave the same as if when you're in your 20s. And I think that Belinda's problem was that she committed all these crimes and there was no punishment. And without punishment, you don't learn. And so she keeps continuing the behavior and the patterns. So I mean, I think.
So at some point in time, it had to come to a halt.
Yeah.
And so they say you always learn from your mistakes.
To me, there's going to be a point when, okay, how could you say you love me if you're doing all this? Yeah, and you're disrespecting me. So
If you have no respect,
I'm still working on if there's one, but there won't be two, 3, 4, 5. And I don't know how I would do. Maybe I would go after the woman. I can say now that I won't. But until you get in that position and you're placed in that position where you are irrational, then you never know what you're doing until you get in that situation.
Belinda was taken with Pastor Alonzo Mitchell from the beginning. Do you think that she should have known that he was playing her?
First, when he asked her to go on this trip, he had keywords that he was throwing to her that should have threw up red flags to her that he was gay, because he was like, I need you to go with me to make an appearance. Who says that if you want to be on a date or you want to get to know somebody better, because he said appearance. So to me, if he said it to me, I'm like, oh wait, hold on. Something ain't right by, something ain't right about him. So if he said appearance, I would have dig a little deeper, but she was so in her feelings that she thought that he cared about her. So she was like, okay, well, I excuse me. And even when she went on the date and she found out that the cousins knew that he was on the other side, when she heard it, she still believed in him because he was a pastor. And pastors are not supposed to do those type of things. But, I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to finish that one right there because we got some little kids in the room. That's right.
Thank you, everybody.
Every it was just such a good job.
This is concluding our cover-to-cover meeting this evening. Thank you all very much, for coming. This evening was one of the very most exciting occasions that we have. You'll find if you do become a cover-to-cover member that usually we're laid back like this. We're always laughing, we're always smiling, kidding around, joking, but the seriousness of it is our book. I encourage you all to take a pamphlet on your way out. It has information on how to contact Felicia, and also we have a website that we encourage you all to just take a look at. We're just getting started really with the more professionalism of the club. Although it was established in 2011 by Felicia. We're just getting our hands with the pamphlets and the websites and our emails and things of that nature. We are trying to grow. But just consider it, if you don't like to participate or don't want to participate in every single book that we read, we do encourage you still to come on out and just have a seat and just listen. What we're trying to do is we're trying to grow in ways in which not only taking the cruise as a club, but we'd also like to maybe, like, say for instance, Tyler Perry comes to Orlando, or even the Civic Center here when there are books and plays that we can all go to as a club. And you all have a good evening, and thank you, Ms. Barbara.